Welcome and namaste. So, in this video, we are going to talk a little bit more about what are the simple tips each one of you or me including can do to get away from the sadness. As you can recall, the first video we talked about what happiness is. Happiness is something that is within you. It's a flow of energy, it's a feeling in your heart, right? So that was taken care of in that video. Then we talked about the first step towards getting happiness, and that was stop being sad. Easy said than done. Okay, easy said than done. One of the things that we talked about stop being sad was in the last video was do not do things that make you sad. It might be going to a restaurant that brings on sad memories. It might be wearing a cologne that brings out sad memories. I'm a cologne fan, by the way. Or listening to music that brings on sad memories. Stop doing that. But those to me are a little bit more reactive things. Those are the things where the emotion of sadness first has to come to you, and then you do something on top of that, right? To take that sadness away. That's reactive mechanism of taking the blanket away from the happiness. For people who followed the last video, they will get that analogy, okay? Now, in the next 2-3 videos, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover topics. I'm going to give you lists. I'm going to give you ideas, a general tip that's not going to take a lot of time from your day, but that's going to actually help you from putting in the blanket to begin with, right? That's the proactive approach. Now you're taking the control, okay? So without further ado, let's start with the first simplest thing. Meditation. By far the most important technique that's going to change your life forever is meditation. And don't be scared. I'm not talking about sitting under a tree for hundreds of years like Buddha did, or I'm not talking about a monk lost in a forest that a lot of times YouTube or mass media will show what meditation is, or sitting still or in a different difficult position. That's not what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to give you a simple meditation steps. I'm actually going to make a video on meditation later, but in this particular video I just want to cover something that you can start using right now. Start today after this video, okay? So the first thing about meditation is meditation pretty much means that there are no thoughts in your mind. That's actually not possible because you have a monkey mind. Everyone has a monkey mind. So we are continuously thinking. So I cannot ask you to just go and stop thinking. That's not possible. Okay. And B, it will take a lot of years. By that time, you will be beyond happiness. You will be teaching me what happiness is. So I'm not going to get into that part of it. But what I'm going to focus on meditation right now is whenever you want to meditate, right? Make it a point. I actually meditate before going to sleep. I doze off from meditation into the sleep. But what I do, or what you can start doing is, when it comes to meditation, you need to start having a third point view of observation. What does that mean? Imagine you are sitting or talking with a person, okay? And you are hearing the person talk. And a lot of that talk is rubbish. That's their thoughts coming through their mouth. Do you get caught up into that? Probably no. You just let it go, right? Same thing you want to do with your mind when it's thinking, okay? Whenever you want to meditate, whenever you have that time, a specific daily time when you are going to meditate, the first 2-3 minutes, what you want to do is you want to take all the senses within you. That means you don't have any sensory excitement, like no TV, no music or anything. You want to take that within you, and then you want to follow that up with just observing your thoughts. Remember, a lot of times people tell me that, oh, I'm thinking about a lot of things, and they are lying, because there is only one thought that can be in your mind at any given point. I repeat, at any given point, any given moment, there can only be one thought in your mind. There cannot be more than one thought. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to observe those thoughts. You want to observe them arise, dwell a little bit in your head, and then go. Okay. Arise, dwell, and go. The problem occurs when you catch on to them, when you follow them, when you start reacting to them. Don't do that. It doesn't matter how important that thought might be. It might be shutting off the stove that probably you didn't do, or closing the car that you didn't do. All these thoughts are going to start coming to your mind, but do not follow them. Do not react to them. The sky never falls. Let them come, let them dwell, and let them go. If you do this for 2 to 3 minutes, you will start seeing that the thoughts just start following their own process without you interfering in that, without you creating the castle around that. Once you get to that step, what you want to do is you want to start focusing on your breath. Okay? Breathe in, breathe out. Okay? You want to focus on the breath coming into your heart position and then going out from there. Right? The breath needs to be from the stomach though, like your stomach needs to go in and out. That's how the babies breathe. That's the most natural breathing position if no one has told you before. I'll cover that again in the meditation process. But for now, try that, right? Yes, that's all you need to do. Because by doing that, you are going to start getting into the present moment. Now remember, I said there is only one thought in your mind. What's that thought? That thought is all about your breath coming into your heart area and going out unrestricted. Coming in unrestricted, going out unrestricted. You are going to start getting more and more into the positive or the present moment. And when that happens, because you are breathing into your heart, your focus is going to be on your heart, and that energy is going to start elevating. When that starts happening, good feelings will start coming in. There will be a rush of good feelings coming in. Okay, do that, and while you are doing that, the more you start coming into present moment, you will automatically start getting into the sleepy mode. So a lot of times people say meditation is best done during the day. They do have their reasons. For people who are in that habit, that helps them. For me, I doze off into meditation like that. That way I'm sleeping positive. So when I wake up, I'm waking up happy. I don't go to sleep sad and I don't wake up sad. I go to sleep happy, I wake up happy. So that's for the meditation. Second thing I'm going to cover in this video, the most important, right, after meditation is have a hobby. Okay, hobby by definition is an activity that you do in your leisure time for your own pleasure. Okay, when was the last time you actually asked yourself or challenged yourself to have a hobby? Just think about it. You don't have to answer to me. You have to answer to yourself, because the whole game is about yourself, right? When was the last time you said, this is my hobby. I like doing this. Okay. A lot of times I talk to people and people tell me, oh yeah, my hobby is spending time with family, spending time with my kids, spending time with my friends. That's not hobby. That's a social gathering. Let's just be honest. Whichever hobby requires other people is not a real hobby, because now you're dependent on that, right? What if your family moves out? What if your grandkids and kids decide that they want to settle in a different country? What if your friends decide that they got a job somewhere I'm in Florida, but what if they get a job in Seattle? Now you're losing all of that. So that cannot be a hobby. Okay. Watching TV is not a hobby. Watching films probably can be hobby if you're studying them. But apart from that, I don't think anything that is externally exciting can be a hobby. Now, hobby can be working in the garden. I like to walk in rain. Personally, I like to walk in rain. So whenever it rains, it's Florida, it rains every day. I go for a walk in rain. I like it. I enjoy it. Okay. It can be drawing. It can be painting. A lot of times people like to dance. Just put on the music and dance. Some people like to sing. I have few friends who used to like to do woodwork, used to like build trucks, toy trucks. Those are hobbies, right? They don't need anybody around them. They used to just go home and start working on their hobbies. Why do hobbies work? Have you ever noticed that people who really have good hobbies, reading, working in garden or anything, they are naturally positive. Like, yeah, some things will happen in their world that will take them down for some time, but over the time they're always going up in vibration. You always feel good, positive, inspired around it. Why is that? That's because they have a hobby. They have an activity where their mind is completely focused on. So they don't have this time to be sad because they are always trying to be more creative and generate something out of it. Okay? Like people working in gardens. Every day, every morning, they wake up, they go in the garden, and they are only worried about what they're going to grow, how they are going to nourish the plants, how the plants are going to grow. Okay, that's what they're focused on. That's how they work. That keeps their mind busy on that. So they don't have enough time to be sad. So cultivate a hobby. Ask yourself, what is my hobby? And if you don't have any, don't be sad. Cultivate it. I'll give you an example. A lot of times people tell me, I don't have a hobby, but when I was small, I used to like to dance, or I used to like to paint, or I used to like to draw. But now I don't want to do that because it all acts silly, it looks silly. And my question to them is, why do you think it's silly? Everyone over here it's silly to begin with. So what makes you special silly out there? You are not special silly. You don't have to draw good or paint good in order to make an exhibition. You're not competing with Leonardo Vinci. As a matter of fact, he didn't draw those things or paint those things to become famous. He did it because that was his hobby. Okay? So follow your hobby. What is your hobby? Start doing it, and the more you do it, the more better you will become. And you never know, in one of those hobbies you might start generating passive income. You might become good, you might have exhibitions, people will start coming to you for those hobbies. So try that, right? So in this video we talked about meditation and having hobbies. Okay, so please try to follow these things in your life and see how it works. Again, the rule of 21 days. After 21 days, this becomes your second skin. The questions you want to really ask yourself are, what is my hobby and how can I stop the monkey mind? Okay, those advices are given in this video. If you need anything else, if you have any questions regarding meditation or anything to do with happiness, please subscribe and ask me in the comments and I will answer them. Okay, thank you and namaste.